Hey, welcome back to the channel. All you guys that have subscribed, thanks. I really appreciate it. So if you like these videos, please like them. And thanks for some of the guys that have commented, wanting to know what they need to do on some things. So we're talking props. I got my champion bass boat. This is my boat actually, and we used to fish. And, you know, we went down to Lake Normandy last weekend, and we just had a great time. I mean, it's just such a beautiful lake. But we were trying to get out of I was full of gas, so I was really loaded out. I mean, I had a lot of fishing gear and tackle and coolers full, and you know, it didn't want to really get up on planes. So my shout out is to James over at Performance Propeller. You know, he's been a great asset. I would recommend, you know, your prop really is only as good as your motor. So you can think of your motor and all the stuff that makes that a motor, but that prop is equal to that whole motor. So a lot of people, they just kind of cheap out on a prop and just throw the aluminum one on there. Now I get it, Percy Priest over here is full of rocks and some shallow areas, and you kind of got to know where you're going. And he's got a wall of shame over there, you know, where you can see all the different props that have hit stuff, and you know, it's great. They're really good over there. So I went from a 3-blade 27 pitch, I think it was a Tempest Plus, and that was on my Mercury 250 Pro XS. And I was getting, you know, the problem was getting out of the hole. It would just take a while to get out of the hole. And I'm very fast prop. I could run this boat way faster than I want to run it. I just don't need to, and not on this lake or a lot of the lakes. I'm not going to run that fast. I don't need to go that fast on water. So, you know, I wanted to get up out of the hole a little faster. And I mean, I knew I still, when it's really calm and there's no boats, you know, I mean, I'm like 63, 65 mile an hour. You know, when there's boats, obviously that's slowed quite a bit down. But with the 3-blade, like when this boat takes rough water really well, but with the 3-blade, some of the, like a 3-foot wave, normally this boat just goes right through it. But that back wave with the 3-blade just wasn't, it won't go through that. It wouldn't go through that stuff very well. So yeah, slow down, kind of back up speed. So, you know, it was kind of weird to drive. It was difficult to drive. So went over there. I did a video of me going over there, and you know, of course, this is the time of year when they're really busy and they didn't have time to just sit around and talk shop. So maybe this winter, maybe I get a chance to go back over and visit them. But I opted to go for this Solus. This is a 4-blade prop. Now, when I first went over, I bought a prop and I tried it on my boat, and it just wasn't the right prop. It was another 3-blade, but we went down in pitch. I think it was a 24 3-blade, and it was still the same problems. You know, the same kind of issues. So really what I'm getting at is your prop. When you're thinking about your prop, you have to kind of think about what you want or how you want to drive the boat. So if you're wanting more speed, or if you're just wanting, you know, so it's good to go to somebody like James, because he knows that stuff. And we're not just talking on this bass boat. We're talking people that run brass props, you know, the big sailboat props, you know, with inboard motor. And we're talking all kinds of props. So I ended up taking it back, and then he gave me this Solus 4-blade to try. So I went out, took it out, and it was great. I was up out of the hole. Now, at the time, I was running probably half a tank of gas, a lot less weight. So I tried the 4-blade, and immediately it was like out of the hole faster. I could go over waves from other boats and not get a drop of water on the deck. I mean, it was just, now obviously a big, huge houseboat, you're going to have to kind of watch it. But, you know, normal boat traffic, all the little bay lighters, all that stuff, it was just plow right through it. Well, then there was a little bit of an issue, and I can't remember what it was. It seemed like it was like every once in a while it seemed like it wasn't catching. So I took it back to him, and he said, "Oh, that's fine." So he worked the edges of my ears. So anyway, James worked the edges of this, you know, and he put a slight cup like right here, and it's on all the blades. You can see it more. You should be able to see that pretty good. Well, that fixed that problem. And I was like, man, this thing is great. I loved it. I really do. And I know, you know, everybody's like, well, Tempest Plus or, you know, different Mercury props. I think this brand is pretty good. So far, I've been really happy with this prop. So Mercury makes an engine and they recommend a prop. So Mercury props are great props. There's other brands of props that are just comparable. How do you know? There's no way to know. So somebody like James is going to give us some really good information. Now, he may be a Solus dealer, but I'm sure he does sell Mercury props. You know, so it's really kind of, you need to get some information from somebody like James because he knows what prop is going to be good for you, what's your budget on a prop. You know, he can get a feel for all that stuff. Because say we can't afford a Mercury, say we want to go out and spend $1,000 for a prop, and I spent like $600 on a prop, and then we're going to talk about this, but then I got a prop hub for it too. Well, back to what I was talking about with the, you know, the cool thing with Performance Propeller is like I can tell him what's wrong, come back, and he's like, okay, tell me what it's doing. Because see, he gets feedback from us too as well. It gives some really good ideas on things. So we filled up with gas, went down to Normandy Lake, and at takeoff, it seemed like it was, you know, it was fine. We got a little bit of water probably in the live wells, because that's just normal. You only get a little bit of water, and all the Champions are made like that. It's a flow right system. It'll allow a little bit of water to pass. And I had my live wells closed off. So coming back, we fished a cove, and then coming back, it was just like it would not go. And so my brother had to go up and lay up on the deck, and then it was like it finally caught, and then it was like normal. So I was telling him about this, and then he suggested that we put a couple of relief holes. So now we've got exhaust holes here, and I mean they did a great job. Obviously, guys, a machine, and it's really nice. So everywhere below the ear, and plus, you know, I'm guessing that he knows exactly where to put these relief holes. So what this, I believe, does, this is my theory, is whenever some of that exhaust comes out here and those gases spread through that water, it basically, the water is so heavy that it's having a hard time catching. And by adding a little bit of those gas airs and relief for the motor, it helps this prop now catch the water. You know, it could be that it goes really far out. You know, it's probably a good stream out, but some of that has got to go across the ear. But it relieves the pressure on the motor enough that it can get more RPMs. By getting more RPMs than we're going to catch. So we're going to go try it out. We're going to see what happens. See how it performs. And okay, so my original prop hub was this guy. And it was this design with these rubber strips. So they came loose. And then, you know, I glued them back on. And I used a JB weld that was made for aluminum. It would do aluminum and it would do rubber. I cleaned these and I cleaned these up, and I even rinsed them down with like an acetone. Just took a small rag and cleaned them off, glued them, and then they came loose. And then the second thing that I found out was there's a leading edge, and I believe that that's supposed to be on, you know, this way. I can't remember, so don't quote me on that. So if you got one of these, you're going to have to figure out which way they go. Now Mercury makes a kit, you can buy new ones of these, and basically they peel off and then they stick on here, I guess with the epoxy that they have, and you don't have to do that with these. See, there's another one, it just came off. Probably every one of these I could just push off. Well, there's only 4. Well, I opted for, this is about 65 bucks. You know, it's this, it's the Bellevue washer, the washer, everything. Well, this is $180. Okay, that's a new and improved design. Comes with a new nut and Bellevue washer and a couple washers. So we're going to do this, and I think it's well worth the money. I think it's a better design. So, and this will just, yeah, it goes in, and they give you directions. You can see exactly how it goes. So here's the whole thing: A, B, C, D, and down here's our key, prop washer and nut kit. B is the prop nut. C is a washer. D is a cupped Bellevue washer, and E is a thick washer. Anyway, pretty simple, and I'm going to install that later today. Alright, thanks again for watching. Go ahead and subscribe, like, all that stuff.